So let's read that and let's just remind ourselves about the two major covenants in the Bible, the Abrahamic covenant and the Mosaic covenant. So verse 16, they did not suppose that salvation came by the law of Moses, but the law of Moses did serve to strengthen their faith in Christ, and thus they did retain a hope through faith unto eternal salvation, relying upon the spirit of prophecy, which spake of those things to come. So significantly, if you look at the two major covenants in the Bible, which we have talked about during this Book of Mormon year, the Abrahamic covenant is God's duties and obligations to his people of Abraham. And we are all his children, either by blood or by adoption. You know, the Abrahamic covenant and the Mosaic covenant. God offers salvation symbolically through the Abrahamic covenant. For us to access that, we need to step into the Mosaic covenant. At least anciently, that's how it was. It's all been updated through Jesus and modern day revelation. The Mosaic covenant, or the law of Moses, was revealed at Mount Sinai. And when we hear the law of Moses, sometimes we think, oh, it's a law, you're going to get in trouble if you break it. And it's interesting, the underlying word here for law actually is Torah, a Hebrew word that actually means instruction. Well, that's interesting. Instead of thinking like this legalistic, like, you got to do these things, it's instruction. It's Moses' instructions that God gave to him. And it really ultimately is covenantal instructions. So what the Lamanites have now done is said, we are willing to listen to the covenantal instructions revealed by from God to Moses and preserved and continue to be taught by prophets all the way down through Lehi, Nephi, Alma, and Amulek. We will follow those covenantal instructions so that we can access the free gift of salvation that God has offered, which will be fulfilled in Jesus Christ. So when you hear phrases like law of Moses, don't think about the legalism. Think about that it's an instructional manual for how to be covenantally faithful to God. Now, to put this into modern day context, the law of Moses has been updated to the higher law through Jesus. And so our obligations now are revealed through Jesus and through modern day prophets. So even though we learn from the law of Moses to point forward and think about Jesus, we don't run around trying to keep like all the performances of, like, say, slaughtering an animal. So pay attention to the living day prophets, pay attention to Jesus, and that keeps you on the covenant path.